Right, we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another video and podcast from Eliteserien Fantasy. I'm Karam, and I'm back today with Jakob to chat about Game Week 15. What a way to approach the halfway through the season. Jakob, welcome. How are you?
I'm okay. My head is still hurting from that weird game week we had this weekend. So I'm recovering, but hopefully I will recover enough before the next game week starts.
Yeah, all right. Well, that's good. I'm not in much better shape. I'm still raging from this game week, especially with one team that is gonna blank in game week 17. But I will probably not hold on their assets next game week. But first of all, tell us, Jakob, what's going on today?
Yeah, as you said, we're going to talk about a specific team that I think both me and you are very frustrated with, and especially some assets. And we will look at some replacements for the likes of Eikrem, James, and other players. Again, a weekend where a lot of strikers delivers. So we're going to look at some strikers to consider to bring in. We're going to look if we have any more blanks or double game weeks. And of course, we're going to look back at game week 15, which was the halfway point, and look forward to the next half of the season in game week 16. And we're possibly going to talk about a little bit about a wild card and some European games being played this week.
Of course, and we will chat as well about one important topic, which is the hot topic of this week, not only in Eliteserien, but in the whole football, which is the potential prize for Lionel Messi if he comes to the Eliteserien. Which team might go to? Maybe Bodø/Glimt. But yeah, amazing. So let's kick off with a review of game week 15. Jakob, you are on top of the tree. 103 points minus 4, so that's a net of 99. How you sum up your game week? And yeah, I guess it's a green arrow, right?
Yeah, fourth green arrow in a row. Still very poor rank, but I figured it out by this. If I keep doing this and I've risen like 1k each game week, I will be in the top 1k by game week 21. So hopefully this will continue. I'm at 6k now, and it was a very weird game week, as I said. Didn't really know what to do with my transfers. Of course, we got the Molde lineup, so I was waiting for that. Saw that James played, so I decided that even though he hasn't delivered, I will keep, because I feel stupid to sell him if you know he starts. But Haugen was benched. So I brought in Borchgrevink, who lost his clean sheet in like the first 10 minutes. And you can see my defense without the legend Makani, of course, didn't deliver Ulvestad off early with an injury. And I also brought back in Fridjonsson, who had hurt me in the past, but I thought that I can't play fantasy with emotion. So I brought him in and he scored. So that was nice. Sinkernagel, of course, really happy with him as a captain, as I have done like the last couple of weeks. Just decided to keep it on him, don't want to change it back and forward. And some weeks back it was Hauge who got the big return, and now Sinkernagel got the best return out of those two, and Zachariasen Velde with some nice 10-pointers, and James 4 points. The minute he scored, it was like the weirdest minute, because he missed the penalty, then scored, and then took off his short. So I was like, this is too much math for me, so I couldn't figure out how many points he got. But yeah, as you said, 103 minus 4, so 1 point from like really 100 points, but I will take the sort of 100 points, over 100 points.
Yeah, that's brilliant score. Would have been like massive score in any other game week, but for this game week it's very good, but not excellent, because game week rank is 4k, and that shows that the big hitters who delivered are owned by pretty much everybody, and the biggest the winners are actually Sinkernagels captainers.
I think my rank would be really high, but as you can see from my midfield, there is one big guy missing. The guy you keep posting each game week, the Pellegrino, of course.
Yeah, of
for
course.
the race. Still missing him. Kumsun can't keep up. So that's a mistake I have to to have to bring him in. Just need to know when.
Yeah, soon rather than later, I would say. But yeah, that's great. Yeah, I would start raging. 88 points, which is absolutely rubbish. Again, we're trying with 11Ks. That's almost 1/3 of the total players, which is not great at all. It's like the 45 of any other game week. I had 2 free transfers, and when I saw Molde players starting, Eikrem and James, I was like, there's no point. I shipped them out because I own them. Hayden was benched, so he's gone, and I had a choice between Ritan or Bork, and I went for Bork. Just the decision to free up the funds for future moves, and I rolled the other one. So currently I have 2 free transfers. As you said, clean sheet was gone by the 10th minute, and Vidar Johnson just missed out again. We don't actually know what's going on with him. Kun missed out. We kind of expected that, but he was already flagged after the deadline, which is another annoying thing in the game. And of course, I got Dallant -1 of the bench, and everybody scored for me is owned and pretty much captained by everybody else, like Pellegrino, Signanarial, and Heidia. So I reached a point where the more points I get, the bigger the red arrow is. I was like, no, I don't want more points. I don't give Pele 3 bonus points. Don't give Signanarial 3 bonus, because it hurts me now, because the ownership is the effective ownership is more than 100%. Heitheim with a clean sheet, Sormo absolutely useless, and that's about it. And Eikrem is suspended, so he waived the buy to me early on, and yeah, 2 free transfers. Let's see. I'm in a very bad position for the last few weeks. I think August was really bad for me, and for the first time since game week 7, I'm out of 1K rank, so I'm currently set on 1085. But yeah, that's about it. Let's go to review the matches, and let's start with Molde, who got a clean sheet and a win against Odd by 2-0. A late goal from Peterson, and he played today in the Europa League. So the question will be whether Wingo will start next game week. James, the weirdest minute in he has this weird moment. He's done the same thing against Alisson, but instead of missing the penalty, he got the red card. So he doesn't give you like a clean points. He always gets a mess. But yeah, generally speaking, Eikrem is suspended, and we might, well, of course, they're blanking game week 17. The obvious question is, should we be sitting them?
Yeah, and when we talk about it, they also just finished their Champions League qualification second round, I believe. And they won 2-1. Things to take from that: Hussein and James scored, but they also both started, so maybe not that good news for James owners, because we don't get the lineup, and I would, in the form he is in, I would say it was weird if he will be benched for the 3rd game in a row. So that's not good news for me as an owner. Also, Haugen, the defender, started. As you said, Pedersen also started, but Vingo is out with a small head injury, so maybe that's why. Eikrem also started, but he is all suspended anyway. The only thing is that it is the last game before the international break, so maybe they don't have to rotate that much, and they need a win to keep up with the other teams around them. But it was an important win against Odd, who was right behind them. They were quite lucky, I believe. A dodgy penalty, yes, you could say it was a penalty, but yeah, a soft one at least. And also, Odd got a goal denied that maybe wasn't offside. They also hit the post. So Molde still not looking great, and with suspensions and poor form and rotation, I think we could do well with selling and using the money elsewhere.
Yeah, that's definitely what I'm going
and also
to
a
do.
blank, of course, in game week 17.
Yeah, that's definitely what I'm going to do. I'm actually done with Molde assets. It's they are the champion. They are currently the second best team in the league. And full credit to everybody who went without Molde since the double game week, because those are the ones who took my place in the ranking. So I'll have to get them to load them off. Question is for Eikrem, for example, which we will discuss later, who is their best replacement? Because who's his best replacement? Because not many options excited me to keep them for many game weeks. From now on, I might just start taking a few punts here and there. So it's a tricky position to be there. But yeah, let's see what we get here. So Haggesund, a three goals win against Alessand. Again, considering penalties, considering individual mistakes from the defenders. The good news, if you went for Wadji, as I wanted to do but resisted, he scored a goal. 2 goals for Sandberg, one of them from the penalty. The bad news is we might not get many captain holes against Allison anymore because the manager is fired. So what do you think of the new coach, and will he shape up the Allison team and get them better in by the next week, I would say?
Yeah, I tweeted at the game during the game week that the striker against Ålesund tactic still works. But you scored, even Sandberg, who has looked really poor, scored 2 goals.
Yeah.
The penalty expert, of course, but also really nice goal. But as I said, the coach is sacked, and in comes the old Brand coach, who was only sacked like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So quick back in the job, and he was fired at Brand for playing boring football, which suits Ålesund perfect because they need some boring games and don't need to concede a lot of goals each game. So I think it will suit them well. Some reports saying that he has drilled them back to a 4-3-3. Ålesund has played like a 3 at the back a lot, but it seems like 4-3-3. And in the drill, they had this training. Our reporter said Castro is playing like much deeper, like a number 8 in the 3 in midfield. So for some of you who might own Castro, I don't know if that will affect it, but he will at least start lower in the pitch. So we will see. Of course, it wasn't only the manager's fault that Ålesund was so poor, but it was so many individuals' mistakes and also a lot of penalties being made. So I don't know if the new coach can rescue that, but at least I think they won't be that leaky in defense. But yeah, I'm happy as a Velde owner with 2 assists in this game. One he was filed for a penalty, and the other was a nice pass to Sandberg. So Haugesund, maybe they are better in attack, but I don't think we can be fooled by, of course, meeting Ålesund, as everyone is good in attack against them.
Yeah. It seemed like it's very obvious now to get the striker who plays Alessand, because I'm reading out your tweet that you posted on Twitter a couple of days ago, and you said in game week 9, I think, there was Berisha when he played and scored 2 goals. Game week 10, Kinoshita goal, Lauritsen goal, Bringaker goal, Moss 2 goals, Dino Islamovic 2 goals, and Wadji goal. So next game week,
Berisha goals, 2 goals.
Yeah, exactly. And then next game week, it's a start against Alessand, which means that the guy Skalvik, I think, is the striker. So is it like that boring to get Skalvik? You don't want him in game week 17 because he blanks. So I would probably skip this one and watch Alessand the next game week. If they are still that bad, then game week 17 could be one to target. I can't remember who they're playing. I think, they play Salzburg. Welcome. Hello, Strand Larsen. And Dinesh will be happy to captain Strand Larsen against Alessand in a couple of game weeks time. Exciting. But yeah, that's about it. If they have to improve, otherwise we'll keep going against them. But yeah, Bodø/Glimt, 6 goals to start. Like, there was a massacre there. So your assessment, how did that go fantasy wise? Everybody got points, but yeah.
It was like the only part of me that was not me, but like for fantasy players that might hurt this game week was Dalan getting -1. other than that, I think if you owned the usuals in this game, you were quite happy. Maybe the Saltness owners not that happy with only one assist. But Boniface, if you have brought him in for Junker, 2 goals again. Get 2 goals, Sinkernagel 1 goal and 4 assists. It's quite remarkable what he's doing. And I was lucky enough to pick the captain who got more points, but Hauge was not that far away, so not like the worst game week for Hauge owners. He also got 2 bonus, and eventually Sinkernagel got his 3 bonus.
Yeah.
First they posted it with only 2 and 1, and I was like, Sinkernagel just won't get any bonus.
His anti-bonus points, like they put the bonus without saying that, which is we will not give him any bonus points. Yeah.
But I feel poor for Star because the 2 times they have won this season, they have faced Molde away. The next game they lost 5-0, I believe, and they won against Vålerenga last game week. They were looking to continue this trend, and then they traveled to Bodø and lose 6-0. So not the best for them, but Bodø/Glimt, they just keep on doing what they have done. Done the whole season, and Boniface scoring 2 goals. Some fresh reports from Junker actually now, from Jonas, who says that he is in the squad for the European qualification for tomorrow. At the start of this week, he had some pain, but on the training yesterday, he scored 2 goals in like the 11v11. And it looks like in that 11v11, Boniface will still start tomorrow. But if maybe Junker will get 20 to 30 minutes tomorrow, maybe he will start against Sarpsborg. But it's difficult as an owner because Boniface has been really good.
Yeah.
And he is also a young talent, so it's not like Junker just comes straight back into the team because it's harsh on Boniface. So it's a difficult situation, and I'm afraid that maybe this will turn out like the Uhi James situation where they will rotate a lot.
Yeah, it sounds like that. And one of the regrets for me is not to go for Boniface when I had the chance to. That would have been 3 goals and 1 assist in 2 game weeks. That would have helped a lot. But important to mention that Junker is becoming slowly a differential if he comes back that quick. He lost 25% of his owners down to 36.3%, which I would say it would be much less for the active owners. So if he comes back then and features tomorrow, then it might be good option to, if you keep it, if you have him, it might be a good option to keep him for next game week. But yeah, if it's not fit enough, then it would be additional problem to have on the shopping list. Other than that, Saltness is got an assist. I still think that having a striker with Hauge and Sinkernagel is the way to go, because of the alternatives in midfield. That's something we made last game week as well. But yeah, moving on to Christiansen, 4 goals against Sarpsborg. Every weekend, I have that picture of Pele, and whenever he scores, I just retweet it, and it just brings happiness. Even if his ownership is over 100%, the guy is in a fine form, and finally he is over his knee problem. 13 goals now. I think he is on top of the scorer for this league. Not far from Fred Jensen as well. We'll talk about him in we talked already about Alisson. But yeah, Pellegrino, Strand Larsen with a goal as well. They seem like they can't keep a lot of clean sheets recently. So their defense is in question, and Alvestad, the captain, went off injured early in the game. So how do you assess the Christiansen defense and whether we should move their assets out?
Yeah, frustrating, of course, as a Ulvestad owner myself to see him go out. Luckily, as I say, they lost the clean sheet anyway, so it wasn't like I lost a lot of points. But yes, it's weird because they look like a solid defense, and their stats are quite good. But it seems like they always concede that 1 goal every game, at least, which is not good for a defender. And at least when it doesn't look like the defenders or the fullbacks deliver anything offensively. then it's like you could look elsewhere for the points, because it doesn't seem like Osbach or Sørmo, as you own, deliver any offensive points either, and no clean sheet. So it's difficult. I wouldn't sell, because I still think they could get some clean sheets, but yeah, it's a difficult situation with those. And for Pellegrino, of course, it hurts every game week he scores. And as you said, top scorer now, 13 goals. A penalty and a brilliant free kick from like the wide angle, so everything he touches turns to goal. So really good. And Stan Larsen again with a goal. He has had some not big returns, but in the last he has from game week 12 he has 11, 5, 4, and 6. He has like a return in every game. So after the Bodø/Glimt game for Sarpsborg now, they have Ålesund, Mjøndalen, Strømsgodset, Stabæk. Very nice fixtures after the Bodø/Glimt, and Bodø/Glimt defensively are not that great either. So could be a replacement for James, as we're going to talk about later.
Yeah, that will be in a separate section about the forwards later on. Important to mention that Falk started as a goalkeeper for Sarpsborg, although Nelson, Mitov Nelson was on the bench, the original, the number 1 goalkeeper. And that's interesting thing, because he is very cheap at 4.3, I guess. Yeah, 4.3. So do you think he will keep his place? It was a harsh defeat against Christiansen, was it? Is it something like Bailly and the other guy will rotate their places?
Yeah, I don't know. He made a big mistake, or he didn't, but he made the penalty for Pellegrino to score. So he didn't have the best game, but the game before, or when they played Molde, he had a good game. So, and I don't think, although the new keeper is like bought for some money, so maybe he's like the first choice, but he hasn't been great this season. So it's not like a clear choice. So maybe I would go away from any of them, because as you said, it's the same in Kristiansund. You could just suddenly a game week end up with not having a playing goalkeeper because he is benched. So I would stay away from the keepers.
Yeah, that makes sense. If there is anyone I would look at from Sarpsborg defense, it would be Thomassen. And I would look at him after the Bodø/Glimt game, because they have, as you said, it's very good run for Sarpsborg defensively and offensively. So I can't expect a few clean sheets and the next few after the international break. Strømsgodset loses by 2-0 from Viking with 2 assists from Berisha. So congratulations as a Viking fan. And Berisha looks like a prime Thierry Henry, getting returns every weekend. So yeah, one more guy we missed out on his points up front, at least myself. So how do you see Berisha going forward?
Yeah, 7 goals, 5 assists now this season. Quite good. As you said, it hurts going through these matches and looking at, like, we have been so stubborn keeping James, and we just look at all these strikers we could have had. And he's been one who recently have been very, very good. The last, since game week 12 with him as well, 7, 12, 13, 10.
Yeah.
So,
so many points.
So many points. Of course, he can't keep this up, but I think the way he plays now with the confidence, he will not get like double-digit returns every week, but he's playing so good now. Viking also plays quite well. They were good against Strømsgodset, so a good replacement for James. Him as well. And I also have to give a quick mention to Betici, who got 3 bonus points.
Yeah.
Other than that, no returns, but he was really good this game, and he has also had some good numbers the last couple of weeks. So with 8, 9, and 6. So maybe some good assets from Viking going forward. They face Molde the next game, so not the best. But after that, they have Kristiansund, Ålesund, Mjøndalen, and Strømsgodset again. So sort of the same quite of matches as Sarpsborg. So they also have good fixtures. Disappointing for Strømsgodset owners like Salvesen, Mava, Maigård did not great. And Strømsgodset may be the new Ålesund now. They have been really poor in defense as well, conceding a lot of goals. And now with the new coach in Ålesund, maybe Strømsgodset is the team to target.
Yeah, Yeah, I definitely see them one of the teams to target. And mentioning these names, I feel like the wild card is really close for me to hit it because I'm very far. I don't have all these names. Yeah, but it's interesting indeed. Valerenga, they managed a difficult win by the substitute Fenna. 2 goals for him and 3 bonus points in the space of I think 25 minutes that he's played, 26 minutes. So yeah, I don't know why he's not starting more regularly because he seems to be very very good in very very good form. But if you own Dunham, you got an assist and a couple of bonus points. So Valerenga, we've spoken about them last game week, and we agree that they have a mixed bag fixtures. So they have good next two, but then difficult with Molde, Bodø Glimt, and yeah, it goes back a good one to Mjøndalen. So would you invest in Valerenga because of course you have Borg? Would you go for someone like Dunham as well or Finna if you take risks?
No, I don't think so. Possible replacements coming in for Vålerenga now the transfer market's soon to open. There are rumors that a player called Signini, who is a winger, will come in. Was really good for Odd a couple of seasons ago. And also a player named Kjartansson, who scored 24 goals, I believe, before he was top scorer for Vålerenga. A really good striker from Iceland, who maybe will return. So it's a bit difficult to judge who will get the points. I think Dunham, for his price, delivers not enough goals and assists. Finne, you never know if he will start, so it's difficult with him as well. So defense, I would go for if I go for Vålerenga, and it's frustrating as owner of Borchgrevink in this game because Sandefjord had one shot almost and scored on the chance, and that's not good. Yeah, but I would keep Borchgrevink, but nothing else from Vålerenga. For Sandefjord, Gussiås again with a goal. 6 goals now for 5.7 striker. So maybe a good third option if you want to have 3 playing strikers, but still save some money. But again, Sandefjord looks okay, of course. 2-1 against Vålerenga is not bad. They face Pellegrino and Kristiansund next, so they're still impressing me with how there are like quite even games in every game they play. So yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. Mjøndalen loses to Rosenborg by 2-0. But of course, that doesn't mean that Makani wouldn't step up, and he saved a penalty, got a yellow card. So yeah, makes about 5 points. I will take it. It's like almost a clean sheet in terms of points. But Rosenborg, they looked good again. Zakariasen hit instead on the points, and Islamovic, he missed a penalty. Interesting enough, that Islamovic took the penalty while Borvin was on the pitch, and that meant at that time that he was ahead of him, I think, with the penalties, but it could change now if they get another penalty. But yeah, Islamovic gets the number 9 one more time, and Borvin as bench player. So how do you assess Rosenborg? They have a very nice good fixtures, but personally, I'm still hesitate to invest in them. So what do you think of Rosenborg? Are they in fine form?
Yeah, they are in really good form actually. I think in the last 5 games, it's like a table. They are top. 4 wins and 1 draw. Zakariasen again, brilliant for me. 10 points again. 9 last time, I believe. He keeps on scoring. Of course, he's a bit expensive, but I would like to keep him. Maybe if you're on the wild card, he could be someone to bring in. But I was having a thinking of this earlier, and if I was on a wild card now with the fixture Rosenborg have, I would possibly, if you are saving money on Eikrem and James, you could possibly have a lot of money in the bank to go for double Rosenborg defense with, for example, Reitan or Hedenstad with Reginiussen, because they are quite good. I think maybe they are the best defensive team in the league. Maybe not they have the most clean sheets yet, but I believe after the run of fixtures they have now, they will have the best defense. And it's a lot of value because they are attacking fullbacks and they take set pieces. So there could be a lot of value in especially Hedenstad and Reitan. And as you said, Islamovic missed a penalty. Good for us Makani owners who yet again saves a penalty. It was a really poor penalty, like a bit like a Jorginho penalty where he stopped and then just passed it into Makani's hands. So as I said, could go for Rosenborg players, but only on a wild card, I would say.
Yeah, interesting notes indeed. Hedenstad played on the left back as well. That could be interesting to note until they sign a left back. I believe they are close. They have already signed the left back. I'm not sure.
They're close to, and as I said, the window opens soon, so
in September,
maybe they will sign someone.
Yeah, of course, and that's something to keep an eye on for sure. Last game of the game week is Brann with an important win against Stabæk, 2-0 again. Tyler scored the first one, and for Bamba owners, that 94th goal minute made a big difference, I believe. But yeah, Bamba, first goal after 12 or 13 game weeks. Wow, it's been a while. While, but he's still on by 17%. So yeah, Brann, what's your assessment on Bamba? And yeah, of course, since the new manager Hestad, the 4.5 one-pointer machine, did not even show up in both games. So it seems like we have a dead spot here. And yeah, tell us about Brann.
Yeah, their still don't that great, but the new manager only have had them for 2 games, so it's still early. But you could see that he is starting to create something, and I think the thing you said with Hustad and Bamba is that he really wants Bamba to score goals. Now we finally have had him to score a goal, and he ran straight to the manager and hugged him when he scored at the end there. And also, I believe, keeping him on the pitch for 90 minutes, allowing him to get more time to score, and also sometimes during the season when he was subbed out like 60, 70 minutes, he gets so frustrated. So I think the new manager wants to take care of him and make him happy, so he plays him all the time. So I think the only time you will see Hustad plays maybe when they're a goal down and need 2 strikers playing, maybe. For Kumsun owners, very, very poor. Didn't do anything. They only used the left side, it seemed, and he's so wide, so he didn't really have any chances. But Bamba is tempting. I tweeted earlier also that he has gone 11 or 12 games without a goal. Yeah. Now he scored. Maybe he will have like 11 and 12 games with a goal now. Because he has the confidence maybe now to score more goals, but definitely tempting for Bamba. And Strømsgod's next game, who we say we could target, and I think Brann would only get better and better.
Yeah, that's exciting news for Bamba owners, for Komsun actually. Yeah, personally, I would keep him for the next 2, especially the next one, because it's Strømsgodset, it's a team to target. Vålerenga less so, and then the fixtures is stiff in. So I was considering Komsun to replace Eikrem, but it's kind of like I want to get him for 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, and then I would ship him out again. So yeah, if you own him, I would definitely think of keeping him. If I don't, then I'm not sure really. It would be I wouldn't be surprised if he scores again. It's been a while since he scored, but yeah, Strømsgodset is too good to ignore. That's my view on Komsun and Brann. Yeah, so let's move on to forwards. Yeah, while I'm stuck with Jonker and James, who are not scoring or not even playing, there are so many strikers that scored a lot of points in the last couple of game weeks. So yeah, what do you think of the strikers emerging now? We know Fred Jansen scores, Berisha is in fine form, Bamba looks like he unlocked his curse of not scoring. Salvesen is kind of a player you have to keep patience with him. He scores for you, but you can go for some period without getting any points. So yeah, what do you think of the new formation of the strikers? Do you think that 3 strikers would be the way to go now? If you are on a wild card, who would be your 2 or 3 strikers?
Yeah, it's a time where I think we will see a lot of different teams. I saw some very good teams this week with playing Spissrush, having 3 strikers.
Yeah.
I see a lot of teams with 5 in midfield and only 2 up top. So I think we will see a good mix of someone playing 5 in midfield or someone playing 3 in attack. And I think it could work out to do any of them, because in midfield there are so many good options, more cheap options doing well as well, like Velde. Zachariasen have begun to score. Betici has done quite well, and you have, of course, the 2 Bodø Glimt players. Maybe someone also have gone for Saltnes instead of Junker. So you have him. Kumsun has scored earlier, so there's a lot of options there. But in attack now we have Junker, who I just checked is not flagged anymore. So that's a good news. We have James, who's at least he scored at the weekend, so maybe he will continue this. Fridjonsson. We have Bamba, as you said, Olde Salvasen, Bamba, Berisha. So I'm really tempted to go for 3 strikers, because I have the Spissrush chip left to play as well. So I want to use that, and I have seen some game weeks. I would maybe use them, but for the 3 strikers, I would choose for a wild card. I would probably go for Fridjonsson, Junker, and Berisha, I think.
Yeah, it feels like the 3rd spot is up in the air. There are a few options to consider. Or
maybe not Junker. As I said, maybe it's a new rotation, but like he scored so many goals when he played, so it's difficult to go without him. And he still has maybe the highest ownership of all the strikers. So if he scores, he will ruin your rank.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, you need 3 Bodø Glimt, and if not Junker, then you will have to do a Saltnes. But I think Junker is good enough to retain his place when he's back fit. I'm in doubt actually, because when I look at the points scored so far after 15 game weeks, there is the first 5 or 6 players are within the same range, kind of. But afterwards, you see the likes of Uhi, Williamson, Strand Larsen, Mawa, Shaibo. Names you don't want to have for a long time, I would imagine. So it's going to be really tight between Junker, Berisha, Salvesen, and someone like Strand Larsen or Grusais if you need some punts for short term. In the long term, I feel Fridjonsson will keep scoring. The fixtures are not too bad. Starts, and then Sarpsborg and Viking definitely can score for his ability. But I mean, the team will concede still, but that doesn't mean that he cannot score. Salvesen is someone I actually like. We know about his low conversion. We know about taking a lot of shots, probably low quality shots. But after 2 game weeks, you can actually rely on him. Sandefjord, maybe, Sarpsborg and Viking. So not too bad fixtures to have for him. So I would still go Junker. I would go for Fridjonsson, and if I am wildcarding now, I wouldn't go Berisha, because I don't think that it's the best fixture for against Molde and Christiansen. But I would definitely get him back against Alessand. We've seen in the reverse fixture what he did, and I think he will do the same. So yeah, you could start with someone like Strand Larsen, who has Alessand in game week 17, and then get Berisha afterwards. So it's kind of an idea to go for that. Apart from this, I'm not tempted really by anybody else. If we get clarity that Islamovic is getting the number 9 for long term, then Rosenborg fixtures are too good to ignore. But first, he has to get as many goals as yellow cards, and that's still a challenge for Islamovic because he's still 1 goal behind. 4 goals on 4 goals, but 5 yellow cards. So yeah, it's a challenge for Islamovic first. But yeah, that's pretty much it about the forwards. If we talk about midfield, then who would you suggest to replace Eikrem with? Can help me out. I'm one of the owners still.
Yeah.
But I imagine a lot of people are still on Eikrem, probably. So yeah, apart from the top 3, Synchronagel, Heidi, and Pellegrino, any differential names you would look at?
Ooh, I've tried to convince you all the weekend about Zachariasen as a good shout.
Yeah.
As you said, Rosenborg had really nice fixtures, and he has kept on scoring. I think he has 7 goals in the last 5 games or something.
Mhm.
It's really good stats. And Rosenborg with the new coach soon coming in as well.
Yeah.
Could be great. I also think still, even though it was not good at the weekend, with the new manager, maybe not his best position, but I think he will do well. Is Castro. I think Ålesund will improve. He's on a lot of set pieces. I think he's still on penalties as well.
Yeah.
So he's also a good shout. That's maybe the 2 like high priced players I would go for as maybe our differentials. But other than that, there are at least 3 in midfield with Pellegrino, Hauge, and Synchronagel you must own.
Yeah.
And then the 2 others are I think Kumsun is quite highly owned, but he doesn't deliver. But other than that, there aren't a lot of high owned players, so you could choose from there.
Yeah. Yeah, very good. Right, so that's about the midfield. Let's go to the next section, which is the captaincy. So next game week 16, that is, captaincy options. It sounds like it's a little bit tricky. Submarine to the yellow submarine boys against Salzburg. But Salzburg is very fluctuated team. You don't really know what to expect. Could be that decent team who made Molde's life very difficult, or actually the team that was that lost by 4 goals from Christiansen. So would your captain be from there, or there are some opportunity elsewhere?
Yeah, it's very tricky. Also, Bodø/Glimt have European fixtures tomorrow. And I think Salzburg is quite 2 different teams, home and away. They are quite solid at home, actually. So it's a difficult fixture for Bodø/Glimt, as well as they have a European game where I believe Synchronagel and Hauge will start and play at least quite a lot of minutes. So
yeah,
if this was a week you could go for another player than a Bodø/Glimt player, this is maybe the perfect week to go for a differential captain to boost your rank. But it is a big risk because the Bodø/Glimt guys they are so good, they could score against anyone. And there aren't a lot of good options elsewhere, really.
No.
Not like Claire. Pellegrino is, of course, tempting, but as we have said, Sandefjord is quite a solid team, and they're playing at grass, so maybe not the best for Pellegrino. Molde has played in Europe, so against Viking, who's in good form.
Yeah.
It was difficult to know who will start the game. Rosenborg at home to Stabæk. You never know which striker will play. Zachariasen, I don't think I would captain him. Maybe if you have Bamba or Komsun against Strømsgodset, a leaky defense could be a great shout.
Yeah, I have
Frid Jonsson scored a hat-trick last time against Start.
Yeah, so that's my differential captain. Yeah.
That could be also a great shout. Yeah.
I'm looking at them game by game, and the only standout captain actually for this game week is Frid Jonsson. On paper, Bodø/Glimt are too good as well. They can win by a good margin, but it's really about the odds. So for me, it's gonna be more likely still on Bodø/Glimt players. But if I have to take some risk this game week, which I think it's worth it, then it's either Bakinga of odd, because Mjøndalen is Makani, and he will not save a penalty every week, but other than that, Mjøndalen defense did not look great. Or Frid Jonsson, which sounds crazy because it's not Eikrem, it's not James. I would have said probably James if he did not start the Europa League game, the qualifier Champions League game. So the anticipation is that Uhi actually will did the start here. So yeah, if you have Uhi somehow, then he might be an option. But that's about it really. So it's a tricky fixture. It's a tricky one. But yeah, here are the options. So let's move on to some questions from the community. And let's start with Stats Don't Lie is asking about the defenders. He's not getting enough points from them. And it feels like that there is always one defender or a goalkeeper who gets the clean sheet and the rest of the team blanks. So we've talking about the clean sheets, like where are they, and somehow it's a bingo league. Like you can't really anticipate where the clean sheets are. I don't think, from my memory, that there is a team who had a long streak of clean sheets. I think Mjøndalen was 2 games in a row.
Yep.
It's Mjøndalen. They lost against Rosenborg again. So yeah, what do you think of the defense? Probably Rosenborg is where I'm thinking of really.
Yeah, it's like maybe the most solid, but my quick answer would be that this is Eliteserien, and you never know where the clean sheet will come. The like usual would be like if a big team is facing a really poor team, like Bodø/Glimt against Start. Although Bodø/Glimt defense is not the best, they are so dominant that they keep clean sheet anyway. But it seems like they either go cheap in defense and use the money elsewhere and just hope for a clean sheet for like Christian Sundpayer or something like that, or you have to pay more money for the attacking defenders who, yes, maybe they will not give you a clean sheet, but they could get you a goal or an assist, likes of Pereira, Ruud, Borchgrevink, and the players like that, because they could score you points on the other side of the pitch.
Yeah, it's I think an important note as well that Aspak was on the bench last game week, so he is back fit, and he is the one that would get from Christiansen. I'm getting Surmo, which is like he's been. I think Jonas as well on Surmo somehow. I realized he created 2 chances, probably the only 2 chances in the season, and his teammates missed it. For a little bit more, for 0.3, 0.4 more, I will get the guy who is on set pieces, on corners, has the potential for a huge upside. That's the type of defenders we have to get. As you said, Pereira is another one. Hedenstad is another one. Riza, Ruud, those type of defenders. Hayden, if you want him after game week 17, that's a nice segue to the next question from Dr. Odd. He's asking about if it's worth keeping Hayden during the blank, good fixtures afterwards, but potential rotation as well. For me, I think I would sell. I did sell. He is a very nice pick, but he is not nailed on. Thanks to Mo. And yeah, we just named few attacking defenders as well that can give you that value. He's too expensive to be benched every now and then, so I would be looking at selling. What do you think?
Yeah, I also sold before this game week, and yes, we get I think 2 lineups at least in the next 4 or 5 game weeks from Molde, but he would be the perfect defender if he was nailed on because he is so good, but with a lot of rotation, I wouldn't trust it. And as I just looked at like the keepers and defenders in midfield and attack for points, and the defenders are, the top defender is Pereira and Hank Olsen, who got 60 points. The top goalkeeper has 75, the top midfielder has 130, and the top attacker is 93. So you get less points from the defender. So if you have him, maybe you could sell, but if you don't need money elsewhere, you could also bench for the blank to look at the lineup for the game week 18, because then you get them on the lineup and you could start them one last time.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. A question from Sabine, who is, I saw him in the live chat as well. So if you're watching us, here's your question. He is on a wild card, so he did not wait to get the second wild card, and he hit the button. But he is having hard time to pick the midfield. So apart from the three obvious, the trio of Pele, Hege, and Sinu Nagel, he is having some hard time to pick the other midfielders. So yeah, maybe we can suggest a few names. We already mentioned a few names like Castro, Zakariasen, but another one which Andy Martin has mentioned in the chat. I like the look of Sida.
Yeah.
Of Rosenborg. Now we know that Adegbenro is gone to Turkey, so it seems like his place, the left wing, is pretty much for him, for Sida. Could rotate with Holse, but I think Holse is pretty much the backup of Helland. Oh, probably not anymore as a backup, but he's competing for that position. The problem with Sida is that he, I've read in the Slack from Johannes Nesse, he is getting so many touches in the box, but without shooting a lot, or the end product is not there. So he could be a frustrating one if you see him. But he is cheap, like he is 7 million, I think.
Yep.
So you would get what you pay, I think, for him. But if he's improving over the next few weeks, then you can actually get better returns from him. So I like him as a pick. Other names in mind? Probably selling Kun Karam Saltness and get.
That's a good shout. If Bichichi I mentioned quite earlier, 6.4.
Yeah.
After the Molde game has some really nice fixtures, and you mentioned Johannes said that he has really good numbers for attacking. So and only 3% owns him. So and he's 6.4, so it's not a big risk, and you could get a big reward. So he's maybe one we haven't mentioned yet that I would recommend.
Yeah. Sounds very good. Last question we will have today is from Kenneth. Is asking about Bran and Alisson picks. Are they any good with a new manager? And yeah, what do you suggest? So we spoke about Bamba as well. We covered that. Komsun keep, but probably not buy. Alisson, Castro, and Fred Jansen pretty much, right? I wouldn't look at the defense at all. Yeah.
The only defender I would dare to mention in Ålesund is Bisusa, 4.4, plays as an attacking midfielder. So he's in the wrong position in the game. If somehow the new coach could make this defense just a little bit better, he has the potential to maybe to score some points, but he's in and out of the team, of course, as well. But just have him on the watch list at least to know if you need out of position cheap defender.
Yeah, I think he played. He had a good run of games, but he played only 45 minutes this game week. He did not play the Rosenborg game. I think he was injured, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he's someone to monitor. I really like this pick. I don't think that Chris Alisson will keep more clean sheets than before, but if he is playing as a attacking midfielder, then why not? Yeah, sounds good. All right, so moving on to the next section, and for the first time probably in a while, we will mention our mini league. So we are having, yeah, that's my rank. It's rubbish, but I'm 46th in that league. But we have, of course, yeah, high scores as you can see in the screen. Jakob, you want to go through the top 5 we have now?
Yeah, I'm not even close. I don't think I'm top 100 even in this league. It's it's a good league. The leader, Oscar Sangenes, is 8th in the world. So
oh wow, well done.
That's really well done. Second place, Egil Einart. Third place, Markus Knudsen. In 4th place in the chat, Sabinho, who has a really great season, 18th in the world. So it's really high level of play in this league. And at 5th we have Martin Smith. Yeah, they are a lot better than us, at least than me. Almost 200 points behind. So I could only wish to be as good as them.
Yeah, that's massive scores indeed. We know Sabinho, He's in our Slack as well in the live chat. But I don't really know the first three. The other four, I would say. So if you guys are somewhere here, just give us a shout. We would like to have you on in our Slack as well and know you at least. But yeah, so that's about the league. I don't know how many points I'm behind. I'm 887. Yeah, 100 points already. Oh my god. No, I can't do that. Yeah. But yeah, let's see. All right. So what we have next, Jakob, is pretty much about the captaincy of our team selection for next game week. So let me put your team here. And here is your team. Senior United captain James, vice captain. How many transfers do you have, and what is your plan for next game week?
I have one free transfer. When I sent you this picture, I didn't know James was starting. When he's starting, maybe Juncker will come in for James. But
yeah,
I have two different ideas. I will either sell James and do a -4 to bring in Bamba, and then sell Kupsun or Velde for Pellegrino to bring him in. Or I would wait, but that was mostly if James was starting, because then I could have 2 free transfers, because I don't think I need to bring in Pellegrino for this fixture, but I want him afterwards. And then I would have 2 free. So the third option now will maybe be to play Juncker and hope he starts alongside Fred Jonsson and don't do any changes, or just do one swap from James to Bamba or Berisha. Other than that, the defense not looking that great. Ulvestad injured. Hopefully he could return, so I don't need to play double Mjøndalen defense against Odd. And the rest looks okay for me. I don't think it will match last game week, but hopefully get some good scores this game week as well.
Right, very nice. You qualified for the cup, right? We did not mention the cup. So
this season has been quite shit, but at least I qualified for the cup. So I see my opponent has done quite well, but hopefully I can play quite far into the cup.
Yeah, well, let's see. Top 32k, I believe, who are going to play for the cup, and it's only one winner. It's not like I have paid attention to, but if I am doing bad in the fantasy rank, then I might give some focus to the cup. Maybe I will end up far away with it. But yeah, sounds good. Here is my team that I don't like that much anymore. 2 free transfers. That's the only positive side of it. Eikrem is gone for sure, and probably I will take out James anyway. I like you, James. We've had a nice chat a week ago or so, but time is up and blank afterwards. So I think Eikrem and James will be out. I still don't have really clear idea who I'm gonna bring. I think I was not fully convinced of Zakariasen, but he scored the last 3 games and he seems to be in a fine form, and the team is in a fine form. And he is type of a player that who probably don't captain him, but it's nice to own him. And I have a lot of bad memories with Rosenborg anyway, but I might give him a go. So it could be that Zakariasen that comes in for Eikrem. As for James, it's really up in the air. I like the look of Fred Jansen. I like to get Fred Jansen because he scored 11 goals. I've never owned him. So he could be someone that will become Berisha in a couple of game weeks' time when Berisha faces Alessand. So that's the type of a plan. If that's relying on Juncker to start, that's relying on Vidar Johnson. Yeah, Vidar Johnson is not an urgent thing because I will get whatever Hidheim gets from Molde. I don't think the clean sheet is there. But if things get really bad, then wild card could be very soon. I want to ship out Surmo. I'm not sure anymore about, of course, Johnson fixtures are tough. So I could be looking at, of course, my bench look as is very horrible for the blank as well. So yeah, a lot of shakeup is needed in my team. I might take a hit or so, but that's it for now. Captain is still up in the air. Probably will remain on Haga. Just stick with him. Don't change. Don't mess up with it. And Senior United will be vice captain. I think that's it for my side. But yeah, a lot of decisions to make, and a lot of managers on a wild card here as well. So good luck to everybody for tinkering the wild card. Good luck, Jakob, for next game week, and yeah, wish you a very nice score next game week.
Yeah, thank you. I hope for a good score and hope you get not as good as me, but just a good game week score as well. So good luck to you and good luck to everyone watching.
Yeah, good luck to the listeners as well. If you enjoy the video, please like, share, and subscribe if you are first time around here. And see you next week, guys. Ciao.
Goodbye.